Hi, today I'm going to show you how to solve quadratic equation. First, we'll go through the basic, and then I'll show you a method that works for me as far as solving quadratic equation with a constant at the beginning of the equation. So let's start. This is the form of a quadratic equation where a, b, and c are constant and x is a variable. Sometimes you won't see a constant a and b. That simply means that x can be expressed as 1 times x, so the constants are for a and b are 1. Now in this example, we have x squared plus x minus 2. So the first step is to find a factor of constant c, which is negative 2. That adds up to 1. So if you multiply negative 2 times 1, that will equal to negative 2, but when you add those two together, it'll be negative 1, so that doesn't work. Let's try the other way around. If we multiply 2 times negative 1, we will get negative 2 still. That's what we need, but when you add those two together, we'll have an answer of positive 1, which is what we need. So the factors we needed is 2 and negative 1. And that's our final answer. X plus 2 times x minus 1. Now let's try to go the other way around to check our answer. First we multiply x times x. That'll be x squared. And then x times negative 1, that'll be negative 1x. 2 times x is positive 2x. And then 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. At this point we combine our like terms, which is negative 1x and positive 2x, and there's our original equation, which is x squared plus x minus 2. Now it's a good practice when you're rusty on quadratic equation is to make up numbers. On this one we have x plus 2 times x minus 1. You simply just pull out any random numbers other than positive 2 or negative 1, and then multiply them out and then try to solve it going backwards. Now in this example, I chose a higher number to make it more difficult. Now go ahead and write out your x's and look for a factor of 42 that adds up to negative 17. Now when you're looking for factors that adds up to the constant b, it's a good idea to go incremental, especially when you're a little bit rusty. So in this one you can see I started with 1 and then 2 and then the number 3. Now 42 times 1 does not quite work out, because if you add or subtract that number, it's not going to come out to negative 17. The same thing with 21 times 2, but 14 times 3 does work. If you add 14 plus 3 is 17, but since our b constant is negative 17, the factors we needed is negative 14 and negative 3. So that's our final answer. Now in this example, go ahead and write your x's down and find the factor of 56 that adds up to negative 15. And then since 56 is a large number, I started with 1, 2, and then 3. Since 3 does not quite divide into 56, go to the next one. Then I went through 5 and then 6. But 7 does. If you add 8 plus 7, adds up to 15. But since 15 is a negative number, we needed negative 8 and negative 7 as our factor. And that's our final answer. X minus 8 times x minus 7. Now in this example, you see the constant 5. When factoring a quadratic equation like this, it's difficult, and there's so many steps that's shown on YouTube that it didn't quite work for me, but this one does, and I'll show you this method. It's something I came up with 5 years ago. I was struggling in algebra. So the first step is to multiply constant a with your constant c, which this example is 5 times 2, and the answer is 10. The next step is to look for a factor of 10 that when you add or subtract together will equal to negative 11. So 10 times 1 will work, but we need negative 11, so our factor that we need is negative 10 and negative 1. Now there's an extra step on this one because of the constant 5, so you will use that to divide that constant from our factors. So one of our factors, negative 10 divided by 5, which is negative 10 over 5, will equals to negative 2. With the negative 1, you divide that with 5, but negative 1 over 5, that's the simplest form there is. So we'll use those fraction as our factors. So that you see the denominator 5 is written with 5x, and the numerator negative 1 is the next number, so 5x minus 1. With the negative 2x, the denominator really is 1. So negative 2 over 1 is the same thing as saying negative 2. So the answer to that one is x minus 2. Our final equation is 5x minus 1 and x minus 2. And you can see clearly where those numbers came from. And let's try another example. This one is 9x squared plus 21x minus 8. Again, we'll multiply constant a and c. That will equal to 72. And we find a factor of 72 that adds up to 21. You can see I went incremental again just to show you. 72 times 1 does not work. So that's 36 times 2 does not work, because 36 plus 2 is 38. Even when you subtract 36 minus 2, it's not going to come out to 21. But 24 times 3 does. You can subtract 24 or add 24 plus negative 3 will come out to positive 21. So we'll use those as our factors and also as our numerators. So divide those numbers with 9. 24 divided by 9 simplifies to 8 over 3. And negative 3 divided by 9 simplifies to negative 1 over 3. And we'll use those as our factors of our quadratic equation. So as you can see, the denominator 3 is written with 3x, and the 8, the numerator, and negative 1 is the numerator on the other one. So our answer is 3x plus 8 times 3x minus 1. This method works for me. I'm not sure. Hopefully it'll help you too. Hopefully you'll find it easier for you. And thanks for watching. Have a nice day.